I think going solo was just a simplification. You know what I mean? Okkervil River was always a interesting hybrid of kind of like me, my vision, and then what everybody else was bringing to it. And at a certain point, the bag called Okkervil River that you're trying to cram all these things in starts to show signs of wear, and it gets difficult to carry around with you. And what I would hope is that the idea of going by Will Sheff doesn't sound like I'm trying to sort of vacuum away everybody else's contributions into my own glorification. Ironically enough, this new album there are a lot of the songs are co-writes.
Sit by my side so close, and I'll tell you all I know. I don't mind if you'd like to repeat.
It's an interesting, weird thing that changes definition, but I guess I just sort of didn't want to feel like I was supposed to be doing this kind of like outdated act that people might have wanted, but that started to feel more and more incoherent to me. You know, like you may have your memories of some specific time of Okkervil River, and you may want to see that enacted when you go to see me play for one night, but I have to live my life and I have to be me, and I can't be stuck in that. You know, I can't sustain myself trying to be stuck in some vision of how you think it used to be.
My friends along with me, and we make it to the sea. We've agreed to give back all our gold.
This album is such an expression of what California did for me, what the landscape and the air and the light, but it's also very dangerous. You know, it's fragile. And I feel like these songs came out of that. And my friend Brett Curry is a great photographer of California. And so I thought I had this brainwave in the middle of the night where I was like, you know what? I have all these thoughts about like a painting for the album cover and all this. Why don't I just take a picture of myself in some pretty Californian place? And I thought about that Peter Bruegel painting, Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. The teeny little legs of Icarus falling into the water are just one little detail in this otherwise very beautiful but also very mundane setting. So I thought it would be nice to do that, you know, sort of a Where's Waldo meets Peter Bruegel, where I'm just enmeshed in this landscape.
Smooth sailing kids, not a thought in their heads. The world in a darling dumb days. Gold, gilt and glitter and burgundy waves.
What is In the Thick of It about?
I don't like to always say what things are about. Like, about is the first step into a vast landscape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It's like you're looking at a big landscape and there's a path winding all the way through it, and about is the path. But the path isn't necessarily like why you're looking at the landscape. Look at that sweet path. So I think of In the Thick of It as it's very much a song about, you know, when you get older and everybody, I think, you know, a lot of people can relate to this, just not having any time to do things that you want to do, and to have grace and to have beauty and poetry, and yet finding these little spaces to have those things in the middle of everything kind of crashing around you. And I think that that's how it is when you have a lot of responsibility. You find your little moments of grace and beauty, you know, in the middle of everything somehow.
It's a dance you do in the thick of it. It's a dance you do in the thick of it.
The story of the loss of Travis Nelson is also on this album. Your ex-drummer.
Yeah.
You brought it into your biography of this album with the press release, and You must have been so sad. I mean, there's a lot of sadness that.
Yeah, I mean, without getting too into it, yes, of course. And I love Travis, and I loved Travis like a brother, and we were so close. And there's a lot of Okkervil River songs after his departure that are about him, and that have him as a sort of a spirit to them, and the pain that I felt from our estrangement. And, you know, yes, obviously he's very much in these songs. I struggled over whether or not to make that clear when I had to write, you know, when I didn't write the bio, but when I had to have somebody work on it. Because it's so personal, and because I didn't want to talk about it so much that it started to feel like a canned quote about something that's very real and very raw and deserves respect. You know, that's the problem with doing interviews. A bunch of them is that something that's really important to you becomes like a spiel, and it feels a little bit profane, I guess, you know. Ultimately, I decided that I would talk about it because I want people to remember Travis's name. I think that that's what he wanted. I mean, we were not on good terms at the time of his death. And I guess what I would really hope is that he wouldn't feel like I was using him to promote myself. But I feel that rock and roll meant as much to him as it did to me. And he was such a sort of special soul, and I think that he wanted to be remembered. And so I felt like it was okay for me, especially not under the name Okkervil River. It was okay for me to sort of raise the flag, the bright orange crush orange Travis Nelson flag for all to see, without necessarily trying to make it seem like the whole album was about that, or, you know, anything like that. I feel like this is my calling. I try to create beauty and insight and enable people to have moments of grace at the best, or entertainment, I guess, at the very worst. Mm-hmm. If all else fails, they can at least laugh at me. I know that what I do is not for everyone, you know, in the way that Taylor Swift's work reaches a very, very wide audience. My work reaches a smaller audience, but I like to feel that for that audience, I'm providing an important but hard to define sort of service.
How do you look at the things that you did while traveling the world?
I think about all the time, every single day, you know. I think about how lucky I've been that I've gotten to tour the world. It's the fact that people care about the music, that I've gotten to experience the window into other cultures, that I've gotten to get a knowledge of, you know, different cities. With time, and you know this, it's like the good memories just get warmer and fuzzier, and the bad memories, you get to kind of smile at them instead of like kicking yourself.